Well, I know you'd want me to thank Baroness Anley for giving up her time and being with us this afternoon, and for what she said, particularly about the importance of Article 18. And I know that she will be doing as she said, insisting that every minister inside the Foreign Office takes Article 18 seriously. So I think we're very, very fortunate to have you, Joyce, at the department at this time. And thank you for being here today. Well, I noticed some of our friends from the Commons had to leave while Joyce was speaking, but as a former Chief Whip, she'll have understood when she saw the green bell there that they had to rush off to a division. I'm sure they'll be returning in due course. And meanwhile, though, we have a number of members of the House of Lords over here, one of whom, of course, is my good friend and colleague, Lady Cox, Baroness Caroline Cox, over here. And Caroline, of course, is a frequent visitor to some of the nastiest parts of the world in terms of the violations of human rights that occur there. In fact, usually if I get to any of those places, the first thing people ask me is, how is Lady Cox? And one of those places, of course, is northern Nigeria. And our next speaker shares with Caroline a love of a region from which he springs and which she knows very well. Archbishop Ignatius Kaigama was born in 1958 in Taraba in Nigeria, and is Archbishop of Jos, which is around 200 kilometers northeast of Abuja, the capital of Nigeria. Archbishop Kaigama studied for the priesthood in St. Augustine's Seminary in Jos, with further study in Rome. He was ordained on the 6th of June 1981. He attended the Pontifical Gregorian University, earning a doctorate in theology in 1991. Pope John Paul II appointed him Bishop of the Diocese of Jalingo. He was consecrated as a bishop on the 23rd of April 1995, and in 2000 His Grace was appointed as Archbishop of Jos. He's currently the president of the Nigerian Bishops' Conference and the vice president of the Episcopal Conference of West African Catholic Bishops. He's also chairman of the Plateau State-convened Interreligious Committee for Peace. And together with the Emir of Vase, Elijah Haruna Abdullah, he was involved in an understanding which was created between Christians and Muslims. Your Grace, you're extremely welcome here today. We look forward to what you have to say.
Thank you for the welcome and the introduction. Your Graces, my lords, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted, very delighted to be part of the official national launch of the Aid to the Church in Need Religious Freedom Report. I congratulate the ACN for its sensitivity and proactive stance on the issue of religious freedom and the desire that all people experience genuine religious freedom in the world. In Nigeria, this subject matter is of utmost importance. With all its blessings and potentials for greatness, the country can degenerate into needless, prolonged, violent religious crisis if religious freedom is neglected. With the 2015 elections in around the corner, there are feverish political activities, and many politicians want to get into power. But I am yet to see or hear anyone make religious freedom an issue in their political campaign and or calculations. It is no longer news that the Boko Haram, the militant Islamic group that believes that Western education is evil, has captured parts of Borno State. The Catholic Bishop of Yola is currently struggling to keep thousands of displaced people flocking in from parts of Borno and Adamawa states. And the Catholic Bishop of Maiduguri Diocese has lost 14 parishes. Over 20 priests and some Reverend Sisters of Maiduguri Diocese are on the run. And several churches, the minor seminary, including the Reverend Sisters Convent and Clinic, have all been destroyed. As we gather here, the Boko Haram insurgents are violently expanding their base and capturing large parts of Adamawa State, but all that the political heavyweights are doing now is scheming about who becomes what in the next political dispensation. The people that people have been forced to become refugees in their land and some forced to profess Islam are a clear and concrete negation of people's rights to freedom of religion. Over 200 Chibok schoolgirls kidnapped over 6 months ago are still in captivity. According to latest reports, all have converted to Islam and are married off. Only God knows how physically and psychologically traumatized they would be by now. Nigerians, no doubt, love religion. The ubiquitous presence of churches and mosques is evidence of this. Nigerians carry their religion with them to the markets, to schools, recreation centers, etc. Religious census, however, is almost impossible in Nigeria, as every group tries to exaggerate its population strength by claiming numerical superiority. My calculation, however, is that Muslims are 40% in Nigeria, Christians are 40%, and the followers of traditional African religions, 20%. Areas that seem to be problematic in view of religious freedom are the threats received when one converts to another religion or marries from another religion. Also, the refusal to grant places of worship in some tertiary institutions is a problem. Refusal to teach religious knowledge in some schools is a problem. And then denial of land for building religious worship places. And then the imposition of traditional rulers based on religious criteria. Conscious efforts are being made to promote religious freedom. Our major seminary in Jos is situated in the heart of an area occupied by Muslims. The seminary was there first, but the Muslims came later and built and established their mosques around the seminary, so that the seminary is now completely surrounded. But the good thing is that we relate well. The seminary authorities relate well with the local Muslim community. Even when the prayers are going on in the chapel, you hear loud calls to prayers all over the seminary compound. But there is still peace. They visit one another and exchange gifts and all that. This is all happening. We do our own in different ways based on different needs. And in Jos Archdiocese, for instance, we have established centers. We call it Dialogue, Reconciliation, and Peace Center. And then we have also established an institute for training young Muslim and Christian boys together. For 2 years, they do vocational training program, carpentry, building, and all that. And this is all to encourage religious harmony. And this is to say that people can be free to choose the religion they want to practice. And we are hoping that the Christian Association of Nigeria, the Muslim umbrella body JNI, and the NIREC, Nigeria Interreligious Council, will do more in the area of religious freedom. Please permit me to place on record our appreciation to the aid to the church in need. Throughout the various crises we have experienced in northern Nigeria especially, the ACN has been close to us in thoughts and prayers, mobilizing benefactors to pray and contribute financially towards religious projects. They support the formation of our pastoral agents, priests and catechists, and whose interreligious dialogue and activities are a veritable tool for religious freedom. Officials of the Aid to the Church in Need also visited northern Nigeria as an expression of solidarity. I must not forget that the former British High Commissioner Bob Dewa also visited me in my house several times, and together with the Emir of Wase, we went round to churches and mosques in order to preach religious harmony. I want to make it clear that the fear being entertained that when governments or international organizations help religious bodies, they use that help for conversion or proselytism, that fear is unfounded. We are open to all. Like our Justice and Peace Department in the Archdiocese of Jos has built culverts, wells, latrines, laterite roads for Muslim populations. And recently we constructed over 20 little houses for Fulani Muslims. And these houses are being enjoyed. So medical, educational, and social services are also given by the church to all without discrimination. In religious freedom, finally, I ask the question, is religious freedom possible in Nigeria? The answer is a categorical yes. There is need, however, for a conversion of hearts. avoiding negative religious indoctrination on the parts of Muslims and Christians, who should see religion as a tool for the common good, character formation, moral transformation, and advancing positive interpersonal relationship that transcends narrow religious boundaries. This can prevent religious tension or conflicts. Since the Nigerian government is successfully fighting the Ebola disease, I believe it can equally, with some political will, fight religious fundamentalism which threatens the soul of Nigeria. I believe that the Nigerian government, my government, can provide a level ground for harmonious religious coexistence in freedom and peace. Thank you very much.